deal, my people? You know what it is, Don Tony Teflon, and I'm back at you, another one. And we have seen Bran Stark do some amazing things. And we have seen some amazing magic in this series. But is Bran Stark really the Night's King? Now, being a part of this A Song of Ice and Fire Game and Thrones community, you know, I have heard theories. And I have heard some good ones. And I have heard some bad ones. And I have heard ones that you just have to scratch your head and say, really? So, what I want to do right now is talk about this one. Now, this is something that a subscriber of mine brought up. So, I felt I would investigate the question for him. Now, he's asking, is it possible that Bran Stark is the Night's King that we're seeing in the show? Is that Bran Stark as he gone back into time, doing as we seen in the trees, and somehow come back out and this guy is Bran Stark? And we're going to investigate that right now and see if it's possible that that could be the case. Now, the suspect person in this whole thing is without a doubt Bloodraven, because we know that when Bran gets touched, he is in Bloodraven's dream. He goes into Bloodraven's dream and then he finds the Night's King and all the Night's King's minions. But Bloodraven is nowhere to be found. And on top of that, when he comes back, Bran does lie about him being touched, and Bloodraven insists that he was touched. So for that reason, we have to say that Bloodraven seen him get touched.
He saw me! The Night King! He saw me!
He touched you.
I don't know, he was close, but...
He touched you.
Now, we could figure this out real easy if we were able to see the Night's King's arm, because we know that Bran has the touch of the Night's King. So, if Bran was the Night's King, we would have to suspect that the Night's King would have the same thing on his arm. Unfortunately, the Night's King arms are always covered up, so we cannot use that as a factor to see if this is Bran. So let's take a look at the story of the Night's King and see exactly what's going on here. According to legend, the Night's King lived during the Age of Heroes, not long after the war was completed. He was a fearless warrior named the 13th Lord Commander of the Night's Watch. Later, he fell in love with a woman with skin as white as the moon and eyes blue as stars. He chased her and loved her, though her skin was cold as ice. And when he gave her his seed, he gave her a soul as well. Night King brought her back to the Night Fort, and after an unholy reunion, he declared himself king and her his queen. Now, if Bran was this Night's King, I have one problem with him, only one really. It would be the fact that this Night's King was defeated by a man named Brandon the Breaker. Now, if Bran is all the Brans in history, it would seem more likely that Bran would be Brandon the Breaker. He would not be the Night's King at this time. But that does not mean that the Night's King that we are seeing in the show is the same Night's King from the Age of Heroes. In fact, I don't think it is. I think it's a totally different character. So it's still a possibility that Bran could be this Night's King. Now, if Bran is this Night's King, there is one thing that points right to it that I can't shake. And when I look at it, and it's something you're going to look at, that there's no way you can shake it. And when we look at the look of the Night's King's face, it does look like it could be an older Brandon Stark's face. Now, we look at the nose especially, I think that they pretty much line up, you know, like it's that dude. So, if that's what we're going by look, I think that we have no choice to say that this Night's King does have a striking resemblance to Brandon Stark. Also, that Bloodraven looks like he has that same nose too. And the fact that Bloodraven was in the dream but Bran couldn't see him, he knew that the Night's King touched him, but where was he? He was nowhere to be found. It's kind of suspect to me, and it quite possibly could be that Bloodraven is the Night's King. Now, we know we've seen the Night's King kill a certain form of Bloodraven. But that form of Bloodraven that we've never seen anyone physically touch. So we don't really know if that truly was Bloodraven, or did he just take his consciousness and put it into the Night's King and kill whatever this green seer sitting in that throne was. So if I had to pick whether it be Bran or Bloodraven, who is going to be the Night's King, who is the Night's King should I say, I would have no choice but to lean towards Bloodraven myself. But I understand why people think that it could be Bran Stark. Now we also hear Bloodraven tell Bran Stark that you'll never walk again, but you will fly. And if you're a fan of my channel, then you know that I've always said that the Night King will have an ice dragon. And that would be a way for Bran to fly. He could be the Night King. He could get on the back of an ice dragon and fly around on that. That is quite possible. So as always, please put in the comment section what you feel. Tell me, do you think Bran or Bloodraven or maybe somebody else is the Night King? Put it down in the comment section. Make sure you hit that bell so you are notified anytime I upload a new video. And if you like the way I do this, please thumbs up this, please spread this across the realm, and please subscribe. And until next time, you know who it is. Peace! And stay sexy.